it doesn't feel like an hour.
Oh, could we go on just a little longer?
Yeah. Well, I'll come back in like 10,
If they say 20, okay.
15.
Yeah, well, no, we're just giving them a little.
Right.
All my friends know that, I've been friends with the guys that I've been with, and, I mean, like Robert was one of the great men I've ever known. He and I are still best friends, and
Really?
Yeah, he flies Gulfstreams privately.
He's a pilot?
Yeah.
Good for him.
So,
Good for him.
So, I mean, he's totally worthwhile. All the men that I've ever been with are totally worthwhile in the way that's important to me.
Do you stay in touch with your former?
All of them.
I think that's the greatest thing in the world.
You
I think that's the greatest.
Jeannie, Joshua, David,
I think that's the greatest.
Robert. There's other ones, I just can't think of them right now. But I never had any kind of acrimonious, relationship with any of the men I've been with.
They all ended.
Well, they might not have ended right, but we ended as
right,
as things, as the cool down, we're still friends.
Who's your boyfriend now?
See,
I mean, you don't have to give me his name.
no, he's a writer. He writes. He's actually written for a lot of hit shows, and he can write other things, but I think he's a comedy writer as far as, he's a comedy writer, but he has great depth, so it's hard,
Well, one should think most important thing to do was a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I have to tell you something. I've never laughed so much with anyone in my entire life. I just laugh till I'm crying and can't breathe with him, and he's a very special and the most eccentric man I've ever known. Just so bizarre and so weird, but so kind and so funny, and not a person that you would think I would pick. I mean, he's the oldest man. I never was out with anyone near his age.
Can I ask his name?
He's 52. But I mean, even though I'm older than him, I've never been with anybody over 30.
Darling, to me, 50, that's a spring chicken.
No, but I remember when he first found out who I was, because we were writing each other for a long time and he had no idea who I was. He didn't have any idea that I was actually me.
How did this go?
Because when I'm in Las Vegas, I can't speak because I get a really bad throat there.
Right.
So my girlfriend Lori said, you should go on Facebook. And I went, what am I going to do on Facebook? She said, well, you know what? She said, if you look I've got Gina's on Facebook and Lyndall and, all these friends that you don't get a chance to see. And then I thought about my friends all over the world, and I thought, oh, that could be cool. So anyway, so then I did it, and I couldn't talk, but I could do, do that.
That's not your real name.
No, I did, but other people had my name.
Okay.
So I took Cher Believe, but nobody believed it was me.
Okay.
So I took this, that, and so I was looking on Lori's page one day, and I saw the most hysterical thing, and I said to Lori, "Who wrote that?" She said, "Oh, my friend. He's a writer. He's so funny. He's so weird." Such a crazy man, and just so weird. Everyone thinks he's the weirdest person. And so she said, but you guys, she said, write him because you guys would just get such a kick out of each other. So we started writing. And I would say, I've got to go to Las Vegas, and, I have a hard time because in the summertime I always get sick, and I'm not looking forward to it. So he thought that I was a Cher impersonator, or that I was a stripper or a hooker. Somehow he couldn't, and it never occurred to me.
That actually was you.
To say, but it never occurred to me to say it was me.
Right. So he was just having a good time.
Right, and thought that I was really funny. And then one time I said something that pissed him off. He called Lori and he went, what is it with this chick? What is it with your friend? And she said, what chick? He said, this Cher Believe chick.
Well, she's one of the friends on your
No,
friends
she's my
list.
friend. She's my friend that said you should go on
But
this.
is she on your Facebook friends list?
Yes.
Also, that's how.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So she said, what are you talking about? And he said, the Cher Believe girl. And she went, that's Cher. And he said he was so flipped out because we'd been writing each other for a month, and I never really said more than I got to go to Las Vegas, and I'm coming home from Las Vegas, or my asthma, when I go up there too, my asthma, acts up, and I'm really tired, or whatever, and or we would just joke with each other because, we just played this verbal volleyball all the time, and, we just found each other really intriguing.
How long till you met him?
A month.
And what was your impression when you met him?
Well, so he said to Lori, we never talked. So then
We never talked on the phone. You ever heard his voice?
No. So he said to Lori, before we talked, he said, the age thing isn't a problem with me. And she said, okay, fine. So we talked, and at the beginning, and he has kind of like a real old man voice. He has a very strange cadence when he talks, and he has a kind of an older man voice. And so we got finished talking, and he went, you know what? You're too young for me. Oh. And we hung up. We hung up the phone. He said, you talk like a teenager. He said, I was expecting something completely different. And I went, well, do you live in a cave? Have you ever seen me on TV or anything like that? You kind of know who I am from that. So anyway, so then we didn't talk. And then he called back and he said, well, this is ridiculous. And, and so we talked for a long time. He said, we should meet. I went, well, I don't think that was the idea. I didn't even want to talk. I thought it was just the idea that you kept in touch by phone, by email, by Facebook. And he said, well, no, we got to get together, because he said, this is dumb. Let's have dinner. Let's have a drink. I went, I don't drink, and I don't want to go out to dinner. I said, I have an apartment in town. Why don't you come over, and we'll just meet. And then if I don't like you or you don't like me, we can just have some sort of buzzword and just go home. So anyway, he came in, and, he is short and kind of a little bit scraggly, he's kind of a little bit like absent-minded professor kind of guy, and, and not a type of guy that I've ever been with, red hair and red beard and very slow talking, and I mean, and also the funniest person I've ever met in my life, ever. No one makes me laugh like he does.
How long you been together?
We had been together a year.
Oh my God. So this is serious stuff.
Well, I mean, it's a year.
Well, I mean, that's a serious relationship.
And
can we use his name?
Well, sure.
What's his name?
His name is Ron Zimmerman.
Ron Zimmerman.
Yeah. Zimmerman.
My God, I can't. Well, there goes the whole. Because I had in my mind, about it, because she's so tough and she's so strong, and despite all that happens, she goes on by herself, and she's, because I thought, given that you probably had kissed off the whole idea of man and the hell with it. And
oh God, no.
That's what I thought.
No, I just don't want to make it personal. I mean, I don't want to make it public anymore,
no,
because
it's stupid of me.
because it ruins everything. The minute it gets public now, and also because the press is so horrible. It's so horrible now. It's like, I went in one day and they were, on Britney like white on rice.
Well, we're not.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm telling you what goes on out here.
Do you have any idea how adored you are?
Well, no.
Do you have any idea how loved you are? It's all over the world. I have had half the people I know bribing me, threatening me to have some excuse so they could come along. Just, I hate you. I'm telling you the truth. Poor Marcus, I just turned it around. I said, no, you can't. Well, I'll pick you up. I'll pick you if I can just, I don't have to meet her if I can just look. I said, no, you can't. This book, but he's not all that well, but a friend of mine, I'm going to ask you to sign that one.